Hey guys. Y'all come on over. That'd be cool. How's everybody doing this morning?
Hi, thank you for inviting us into your domain.
You're welcome, you're welcome. So can y'all tell me a little bit about what y'all got going on?
I will say the first part of it, but then I want them to all explain their project. So this is YSU students and the Economic Action Group. They are partnering with each other to solve community problems, and I want them to all tell their projects. So Alyssa, if you want to tell your project.
Yeah, so my group is working on sidewalk monitoring in Youngstown.
Okay.
So we're doing the 6th ward, and so we're pretty much going around and seeing which sidewalks need fixed, and we're reporting that back to the city.
Okay, cool.
So my group is doing food accessibility and specifically healthy food accessibility in Youngstown. We're working with Sarah Lowry to make a blueprint for a food co-op in Youngstown.
Okay, food accessibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our group is working with Beverly Hosey. We're kind of working on community development and micro enterprises, so just trying to bring some more business to Youngstown, but also just things for quality of life, figuring out what the city needs.
Okay. Any others?
Those are the 3 main projects, and each year we'll have new interns and more new problems, or they're trying to come up with systems, create systems that the city can take, that they can apply it every single year to any area or outside of Youngstown as well.
Okay. So what kind of solutions have you come up with or thought about for the food accessibility? And I'm sorry, what's your name? Because that's your project.
Yeah, Tommy.
Tommy.
And then my group, Keziah, Nate, and Praise. So we're doing food accessibility.
So before you answer that, what's some of the problems with the food accessibility?
So yeah, problems, I guess, transportation, like accessibility is in getting to the stores. So there's the access in that way, and then there's also the availability. So there's no grocery stores in Youngstown, so even if you do have like a car, or if there's a bus lane there, you don't have them in Youngstown, they're outside of the city. So it's the availability in the city of getting either a grocery store, in our case when you're talking about a food co-op, or even like we came up with different solutions like public gardens, maybe trying to get produce in convenience stores since there's so many in Youngstown, different ways of getting the availability in Youngstown. And then I guess also accessibility would be making sure that you put the grocery store food co-op by bus, like bus routes or within walking distance to a community.
Okay. Now I think that's what Commonwealth did here. They have the garden, it's right along the bus route, they have the kitchen incubator, so it's like a perfect scenario. So I would like for y'all to come up with some ideas at some point to say, okay, well hey, they have all this stuff right here right now, what can we do to maximize it?
Yeah.
You know. Anybody else have anything they want to say or about the problems with food accessibility or solutions or anything? And I'll just give you a quick tour.
The issue is through desirability.
I'm sorry?
Desirability. Do people actually use the products that are given to them? Like do people know how to cook? Do people know how to clean the produce and stuff like that?
That's a good point. Because sometimes they look at the fruit and they're like, what do I do with this? You know what I mean? Like for instance, this is mint over here. Most people look at it as weeds, but you know, you can use it for tea, it's good for digestion. It has so many healing qualities to it. And then I know me and Gina were talking about doing, a mint quinoa or something like that?
Yeah, like a fresh mint quinoa salad. I do like a fennel and orange salad with the mint in it. Yeah, mint, man, that's...
It's powerful.
Right. And then Chris, what's Chris' last name? The one that does the foraging? Chris?
Yeah, that was another one of her ideas. I can't think of her last name.
It's a lady by the name of Chris, and she could do a whole salad with just what's in it.
Chris Flack, you mean? Chris Flack.
Yeah. So those are some of the resources that's out here that you guys could talk to actually get something going like right away. What I like to do is I like to help build momentum. When I started this garden here, it was all overgrown and everything like that, and I just really wanted something to do because it's mental therapy for me, so I just got in here making it happen. But I'm no expert gardener, at all. But gardening is like an experimentation. You try, you fail, you try again, you fail, you try again, you fail. Yeah, so you try and you fail. So any questions about the garden? Y'all can do a walkthrough and just check things out.
Is this available to the public?
Yes and no. I mean, because the gates are always locked. It's a business here, and
Right.
we don't have a full system.
Right.
I like to be here when people come. But yeah, go ahead and have a walk through.
There is space down here. We own all these lots too, and if anybody wants to do more gardening, there's space down there and across the street too.
And not just like gardening for food, but like maybe a flower garden? What
Yeah.
do you think?
Yeah, or trees, or berries, or things. Yeah.
For the pollinators, is that what's on your mind?
We need more pollinators.
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Right there. Yeah, so these were donated by Gnome Home and Garden. They donated a bunch. They donated the eggplants, some of the pepper plants. These are sunflowers. I grew those from seed.
Which type of sunflowers? Because there's two types.
These are teddy bear sunflowers, and these, I call them shade sunflower because my friend Shay, she got me started planting sunflowers, but they're like the mammoth sunflowers.
Yeah.
You see the dead ones that are
Yeah.
over there? Last year was my first time doing them, and I just kept them like as a souvenir, so when these ones get tall, then I'll cut them. Well, I mean, there's probably hundreds of different types of sunflowers, but primarily the ones you see, they die every year, and then they have like a bunch of seeds in the flower head.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And actually I have a flower here. Let me go grab the flower here just so to
Look
give
at
you an
that.
example. So this is a sunflower head here. So once it dies, all of the seeds. The sunflowers are made up of a bunch of different smaller flowers. You know, so like we don't have one budded out, so you can't really see, but y'all can check that out.
Oh, praise. This is cool.
That's one of the things about gardening. Once you start planting stuff, it doesn't take anything for the attackers to come in and start attacking, you know. So whether it's the weeds, you know, or the bugs, you know, and right now I haven't done anything to combat that. And here, this is a cucumber plant right here. Did y'all see my squash plant down here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so proud of my squash plant. I never had one that produced as much. These are also sunflowers here. Swiss chard. Beets. Does anyone eat beet tops?
I'm getting into beets, but not.
Yeah, see, the beets, they have the root. Most people just know about the root, but the tops are edible too. You know, and it's much better than like the regular, what is the iceberg salad, lettuce, and what's the other one?
Spring mix, romaine.
Yeah, and it grows fast. I mean, so when we talk about dealing with food shortages and whatnot, beets, Swiss chard, kale, tomatoes, eggplant, all the stuff that's growing here, it's easy to grow because I'm able to grow it. You know what I'm saying? So this is all easy stuff to grow, and it grows fast. Oh, this is like, when we talk about like space, this is butternut squash over here. Get a different view.
Yeah.
Come on over here. This is butternut squash right here, and it climbs. And it's really easy to grow. And if y'all, are y'all familiar with butternut squash? Yeah, it's kind of like a big acorn looking thing or whatever, but it has a taste like sweet potatoes kinda. It's really, really good, and these things produce. So again, when you talk about food shortages and whatnot, this is a good crop to grow. Do you all know about propagating?
Yeah. Sorry. It's almost like asexual reproduction, guys. So you take off a piece of a plant, you put it in some water, and you see it grow a whole other new plant. So when we are talking about that type of stuff, like that's how you can teach maybe the younger generation, having them propagate a plant so they can understand how things grow in the different types of reproduction.
Yeah, so for instance, with this tomato plant, this has about a good 6 or 7 sections that could be cut off. You would just like cut this section off here, stick it in water, it'll sprout some roots, and it will be a whole new plant. And you can keep on doing that. So when it comes to the financial side of creating jobs for dealing with food shortages, propagating your plants is a good way to go.
Especially
You know.
if it's a good crop. If a good crop,
Yeah.
man, then you can produce the same type of babies.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how people get really deep into the science of agriculture, is designing their own, hybrid.
Artificial selection, y'all.
Whatever you call it, yeah.
So are you guys using these plants in the incubator?
I will be. This year I'm focused more on the dehydrating part of it, because last year I lost so much food. Like my guy right here said, you know, how many people are actually going to use the food, but we lost about maybe 30, 40, 50 pounds of tomatoes easy, you know. So this year I'm going to make sure that I'm dehydrating them so that way they can last longer.
Right.
You know, squash as well, you know, I gave away so much squash, and it's like, did the people really use it? Yeah, exactly. Yep. So now what I'm doing is I'm slicing them up and I'm dehydrating them, because they have a large dehydrator here in the incubator. So yeah, different things going. This land is available for farming. The land across the street is available for farming.
Okay.
Commonwealth, they will support you to the fullest, you know. So if you come up with some ideas, and I'm here as well to help get things going.
That's what we were talking about, a food co-op, which means you get local farmers and local produce in the store. And we were looking at the building right over there. So if you're able to grow all the produce here, it's easy transportation right to the store.
Exactly.
And
So
cheaper.
yeah, so there's water here on the lot. Basically everything you need. And then, like, you know, you mentioned about the flowers and whatnot.
Yeah, flower garden.
Yeah, that
Wonderful
section
sitting area.
there could be a flower garden. I mean, there's just so many possibilities. Yeah. I mean, anybody know anything about composting?
Not a whole lot. I know it gets hot, I think.
Yeah.
One of the big things about composting is it keeps food waste out of the landfills. And up to 40% of the food that people buy doesn't ever get used. It becomes food waste. And once it goes into the landfill, it produces methane gas, which then adds to global warming. So this is to try to keep some of that from happening. And the food that goes in here, we mix it in with fresh food leftovers and then wood chips, and eventually it becomes compost, which you can use as fertilizers. So it's this. YSU had this down at the campus for a while, but they couldn't get the students to not throw away the forks and the silverware and everything else. So they finally gave up on it, and the money for their grant ran out. So they gave it to us, and we've been using it now here, you know, for making compost. And Matthews uses the compost in all the beds here for now. So that's just one little piece of the food chain, is catching the food at the end of the chain and reusing it to put it back into growing new food with. Any questions about that? Yeah.
What food can you put in the
Anything that's not meat or milk or dairy. All kinds of vegetable scraps mostly. You know, potato peels, bananas, things of that sort. Yeah. Yes.
How long does it usually take to
It's about a 3-month composting cycle. We just finished that bin over there and they're using it for compost, so we're putting fresh stuff in this one now. And then it'll be ready probably by September.
So those apples, Tommy, that you know you're a mean eater of, just like I did, take the apple core, throw it in there.
Yeah. And like sweet corn or cabbage or any of those things, they have outside husks that you don't use, and they can go in and do a lot of that too. Okay.
That we used to have, and we are missing the micronutrient magnesium tremendously compared to what we did back in the day.
Yeah.
So people usually take like Epsom salt and make it into a solution, but compost is a way better. You know.
Okay, well we're going to show you the coolers up here. Gino, do you want to do a cooler guy?
Yeah.
He's the coolest guy around. So
All right, nice talking to you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good one. Thanks.
Thanks, Matthew.